let's get ready to rumble!
Oh yeah, it is time for a Disney versus Universal battle. It is the battle of the story coasters. On one side, we've got Universal's flagship attraction, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. And on the other side, we've got a brand new story coaster in Walt Disney World called Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Reride. These two rides are advertised as story coasters, and there's only room for one story coaster in Orlando, brother. So in this video, I'm gonna compare the two, put them together, and we're gonna find out who's got the best story coaster in town. Welcome to the latest episode of Vincent Vision. Dig it!
Hey everybody, it's me, Vincent. Welcome back to my channel, and for those of you who are stumbling upon this video for the first time, welcome aboard. Thank you for watching. A couple things before we start going into how we're gonna rate these rides against each other. All of this is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Right? The beauty of theme parks and rides is that they're all so different from each other. Everyone's gonna have a different time enjoying them. But I would consider myself a seasoned theme park expert, at least the parks here in Orlando. I think I've got a pretty good opinion, a good head on my shoulders. So hopefully whatever opinions I share on this video, you guys agree with. Or disagree with. That's the internet. And another thing to mention that's super important is that both of these rides are A+ attractions. Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure and Guardians of the Galaxy are some of the best roller coaster story coasters in the theme park world. That is for sure. So comparing these two titans is going to be challenging. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna base it off of 4 different categories. There are 4 things that I think are important to the story coaster experience. The queue, the story, the coaster, and the rerideability. Is that a real word? I don't know. Each ride is going to claim a category spot, and then from there, we will figure out which one is the winner. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go into the queues for Hagrid's and Guardians. What I categorize as queue is everything leading up to you getting on the ride vehicle. And in this case, Guardians of the Galaxy wins. It's a smaller queue, but it is so much more going on in the queue. It is definitely a lot more entertaining than Hagrid's very, very long, although very well themed queue. Cosmic Rewind's queue has 2 big rooms in particular that you're gonna be spending time in that have things to entertain you. The Galaxarium is like the first room. It's this big old screen on the ceiling. They have a video that plays on repeat. And then further in the queue is this sort of museum of Xandar, which has all these different displays, these screens, interviews with the Guardians. There's a lot more going on to entertain you as you go through the queue. It also has 2 pretty entertaining queue shows, with one of them having a really cool effect that people are going to love when they experience it for the first time. Hagrid's, on the other hand, is a very long queue. There are a lot of different rooms that you go through, which is great because that means a good majority of the queue is indoors. And while all the different rooms you go through are pretty detailed and well themed, you don't really have much going on other than ambient noises. And there's one long stretch of queue where you're going through these tight, narrow caves with nothing happening in it, so it's rough. I've gotten stuck in there when Hagrid breaks down for an hour or however long, and man, it is not fun. Hagrid's does have a pre-show, but it seems like more often than not, they don't do the pre-show. I think that's kind of a shame as well, because having a pre-show for this ride could add a little bit to the queue experience. Guardians wins in the queue category, just for being a more entertaining queue. Now, something that's gonna be pretty darn important to a story coaster is the story. And in this regard, I think I gotta give it to Hagrid's. I think Hagrid's does a better job at taking you through its story. And let me try to explain the story of Cosmic Rewind for you, and maybe you'll understand why I might have picked Hagrid.
So the story is that you are visiting the Wonders of Xandar, which is this brand new pavilion that opened up in Epcot. Xandarians are actually very similar to Earth, or what they call Terra, because both of our planets were formed in the Big Bang. Star jumping is this thing that the Nova Corps uses to travel in between galaxies and universes, because normally space travel would take us about 2 million years to visit Xandar. So we are going to get a demonstration where we get onto a big ship. They're going to teleport us with the Cosmic Generator to a Nova Corps star cruiser. So we're meeting Tarek and Alec. He's explained to us that we are entering a teleporter. So we enter the teleporter, we get teleported to the Nova ship, but then we find out there's a Celestial. His name is Izon, and he wants to destroy Earth. So Nova Corps calls the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they join us, and Rocket comes up with a plan. He actually hijacks our escape vehicles to leave the starship to follow Izon through the time jump. So we get on our star jumpers, our star cruisers, or whatever the heck it's called, and we go, we meet up with the Guardians, and they get hit with a bang bang. You get sent all the way back in time to the beginning of the creation of the universe in the Big Bang, and the Celestial's there, and the Guardians are there with you. And then Nova Corps shows up and captures the Celestial, and then we never see anything from him again. And then we somehow get sent back into the present time, and the Guardians thank us for being on their team, but not really.
It's a very complicated, convoluted storyline, and I think when people sit down and think about it, it's going to leave you with more questions than answers. Something I think is kind of unfortunate with Cosmic Rewind's storyline as well is the fact that it feels like the Guardians of the Galaxy are kind of like the third party on this ride. It doesn't really feel like you get any actual interactions with the Guardians, or, you know, you're really helping them save the day. It just kind of feels like you're along for the ride. It doesn't really feel like you have a sort of a moment with the Guardians of the Galaxy, these superheroes that this ride is based off of. And I do think that kind of lessens the impact of the story for the ride. Meanwhile, Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure is you and Hagrid. It's just you guys. You meet him on the ride, you meet him in the pre-show whenever they do the pre-show, and he is narrating throughout the ride, speaking directly to you. And I think that is very cool. I think that's very important. The way the narration is told on the motorbike is done better than Cosmic Rewind. Cosmic Rewind, obviously, don't get me wrong, is a lot of fun. It is super chaotic, it is super frantic, just like the Guardians and all their plans that they come up with. I couldn't really tell what was happening on the ride. You know, there's just so much going on at once. They had all these quips, I couldn't really hear anything. I think you get a better beginning, middle, and end through Hagrid's than Guardians. And because of that, Hagrid's wins story. Sometimes simpler is better. The other half of what makes a story coaster important is the coaster. And in that regard, I've also got to pass it over to Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Both of these rides feature brand new, unique roller coaster technology that a lot of people really haven't seen in other roller coasters. And I think, you know, while the Guardian system is brand new and very unique, I don't think you get an idea of how unique it is on the ride itself. A lot of the ride takes place in the dark. We know that these vehicles are omni-coaster vehicles, what they call them, where the car is able to turn and face in certain directions. But I think because the ride is so dark and you're going around so fast and it's also so smooth, I think though you don't really get a sense of how cool this roller coaster is. There are two parts on Guardians that I think are very, very cool moments, and you really get sort of the uniqueness of the ride. When you turn and do the backwards launch and you turn up at the top and you see everything, I think that's super, super cool. And then also when you're going by the moon and the roller coaster train is facing the moon as you're helixing around it. I think that's a really cool part where you can tell, wow, this really isn't like a normal roller coaster. We are doing something unique and something that I've never seen before, and this is a really standout roller coaster experience because of this. Hagrid's is just exciting. It is exhilarating from start to finish. It kicks off, it has the most launches out of any roller coaster in America. It launches you 7 times, forwards and backwards. It has a drop track which catches so many people off guard, especially if they don't know anything about the ride. It is so fun, it is so exciting, it is out in the open, you're flying through the forest, and then of course, to top it all off, you are sitting on a motorcycle. The ride vehicle plays such a big part in what makes the coaster and the story of Hagrid's work. You know, you are riding Hagrid's motorcycle. That's been duplicated by a spell. You know, you wouldn't know that if you didn't see the pre-show, but it is, you know, it's a part of the story, right? It is such a great, fun roller coaster that even if you're not a big Harry Potter fan, I think you still go on that and go, wow, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. Which brings me to my next category, Rerideability. I've determined that that's like an exclusive like theme park world term. It's like a lingo, right? Rerideability. How re-rideable are these rides? And I think in that way, it's gotta be Guardians. Guardians is a fun, smooth roller coaster, and I think what makes this more re-rideable than Hagrid's is kind of a cheap shot, but it works. It's got 6 different songs. So right there, right off the bat, if you are someone who wants to get the full Guardians of the Galaxy experience, you have to go on the ride 6 times. Hagrid's is re-rideable. Please, don't get it wrong. While it is a fun ride, I think you can get everything that is happening with Hagrid's within 2 or 3 re-rides. It doesn't make it any less fun, but I think there is so much going on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. There's so many different audio cues, things happening all around you, the music. I think there's different things that you will need to go on the ride multiple times to experience. And also, it's like smooth. And I think because of that, it allows the ride to be pretty re-rideable. Like I would ride the ride 6 times in a day if I could. Okay, maybe not 6 times in a day. But I definitely ride it a little bit more than Hagrid's. And I have to give credit to Hagrid's. It does have sort of built-in re-rideability where there is the motorbike seat and the sidecar seat. And if you want to experience both types of seats, because I do believe they are pretty different ride experiences, you gotta go on Hagrid's at least twice. But because Guardians has the 6 different songs that you can hear, 6, 2, Guardians, more re-rideable. So Guardians has 2, Hagrid's has 2, which leaves us in a tie. Boom, tiebreaker round. No, I'm just kidding, I don't have a tiebreaker round. You know, it really is hard to compare the two. They are similar in certain ways, but I also think they're different enough that it's, you know, you can't just pick one or the other. All I know is they are both wonderful attractions, and if I could ride them both in one day, I probably would. Oh my god, if they were at the same park together, that'd be insane. But if we are gonna do a tiebreaker, I'm gonna actually toss it over to you guys for this one. What do you guys think is a better story coaster? Cosmic Rewind or Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure? Please leave your opinions in the comments. I love reading them. Other people love reading them too. It is always fun to debate the Disney versus the Universal. Which ride is better? Who does this better? Da, 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 da. But the truth is, they're all great. And I live here in Orlando because I want to be close to both Disney and Universal, and I want to visit those parks regularly. And whenever something good happens at Universal, that just gets more people to come to Orlando and visit Disney, and whenever something good happens at Disney, vice versa. People spend a day at Universal and see what's going on over there. So there are people who are going to go on vacation, and they're going to end up loving Cosmic Rewind and Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure just as equally. But with that being said, that is all I got, folks. So thank you guys for watching another Vincent Vision. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see ya at the next one.
Dig it! Bye-bye! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
That was weird. I'm sorry. Bye.